Welcome back. Welcome back to DataBridge. We're going to push information now from the sheet to MYOB as invoices. So we're going to, we'll do this as service invoices. These ones that are grayed out, you've got to push those regardless. We'll let the system work out the next invoice number. So these are optional. Um, we'll tell it a due date. So we'll have that. We'll have all of this stuff. We'll have also then say a line description. We'll leave that in there. And we'll just take these ones out to make it simple and generate. So this will generate a sheet. Actually, it'll generate probably 4 sheets. It's going to pull some data from MYOB so that it'll help us with our things like customer names and account names and GST codes and the like. So that's what it's pulling down at the moment. There's some of it right here. So we're going to say, well, let's do one for James Cameron, and we'll invoice James as at today. And let's say is going to be consulting revenue, and we'll do a 5 grand invoice for that one, and we'll say it's going to be GST. But let's say also you can obviously use your formulas if you want. Just be careful as dates tick over that this will change if you're going to make these dynamic sort of dates. And a line description will be some great advice, and we'll do this on. Let's make it a 2-line invoice to show you how that works. So this doesn't have to be consulting income. Obviously, it can be anything. So if we say, I don't know, freight, then we freighted some advice. I don't know, say, and we can give this whatever you like, and well, whatever GST code you like. It doesn't really matter, does it? So I'll leave it as that's what happens, and that's got to be the same. And um, something random in here, and then you can obviously then send more than one invoice at a time. So we can send an invoice out to a motel, and this can also be today's date, and we can make that as consulting income as well, and that'll do. We'll make that GST, and that's going to be due the same, and some really cool advice there. And what we want to do, they're the ones we want to push. So we're going to make sure they're all selected, and the grouping ID means that where the grouping ID is the same as those two, that will be one invoice. It won't be 2 invoices, it'll be 1 invoice, 2 lines. I'm going to make this something different. I'm just going to use the sequence number. You can use whatever you like. The fact is that it's different, and therefore, so for example, you can make it A if you want. It's different is the point. And because it's different, it's going to create a different invoice. If they're the same, you need to make sure that the customer name is the same. You need to make sure that the date's the same, and you need to make sure that the due date's the same. So now, when you're ready to push those across, we go to send. We just want to check that we've got our sheet selected. We run our pre-flight validation. It checks the sheet that we've got everything in here that it's looking for, and then we're going to push that to MYOB. Once that's pushed, the sync status will update as being successful. No, I've got one wrong. That one pushed. So what have I got here? Invalid tax type. Didn't like it. I'm going to guess it didn't like GNR for some reason. Let's try that. And I want to push this to back here. That's not a bad little test that actually to show you what can happen if it doesn't go right. So that's right, and we'll push that. That's pushed it. Now we go to MYOB and have a look. And this is here. I was going to refresh this page. There are 2 invoices. So here's Island Way Motels invoice that we just created. Some great advice. That looks all right. And then we also pushed one there for James Cameron, and that should have 2 lines on it, which it has. And that's the 1 line $5,000 of GST, GST inclusive. And so if you wanted to, you could go back in the setup sheet. You've got the option in here to tell it whether you want it to be GST inclusive or exclusive, and by default it's GST inclusive.